Good evening, everyone. Hope you all are doing well. Uh, Thanks for joining this senior junior talk session. We have two great speakers with us right now, Ms. Parul Garg and Mr. Dipanshu Rana. Hope you both are doing well. Are you here? Can you hear me, both of you?
Yeah, I can hear you.
We
Yes,
both
hi
can hear,
Arnav.
right? Okay.
Yes.
Hi everyone. Hi Parul. Hi Dipanshu. So we are organizing this senior junior talk session so that everyone can understand how the whole interview process and placement works with Amazon. As you all might know that Parul Garg and Dipanshu Rana, both of them are upcoming 2021 graduates, and they both are placed in Amazon. First and foremost, congratulations to both of you for achieving such a feat. And
Thank you.
we'll start with the
Thanks.
session now. If any of you have any kind of question, you can write in the chat session, and Parul and Dipanshu will answer them accordingly. And if Parul and Dipanshu, both of you have any kind of experience which you want to share regarding the interview and everything, you can.
Yeah, sure. Well, do you want to go first?
Maybe you can go.
Are you going first or should I? Do you want me to go first?
Yeah, it's up to Arnav, I guess.
Parul, you can start. It's fine. Even Rohit Vatwani is also here with us. He is our
Yes,
third
yes.
speaker. Hi, Rohit.
Hi
Hope you are doing
everyone.
well.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
all three
fine.
of our speakers are here. Congratulations, Rohit, by the way, for getting into Amazon. It's a
Yeah,
great
thanks.
feat. So we have our three speakers with us. We'll start with Parul. Then Parul, you can start everything. Whosoever has any kind of question, they can just write it in the chat board. And if all three of you have any experience that you want to share, any tips and tricks, you all three of you can. Okay.
So, like, what do you want me to answer first or share first?
So I was thinking like the juniors that we have, they can ask questions and then we can answer
Yeah,
that. And in the last, we can add if there is something that is missing or any tip that we want to share, like that was not covered in the questions. So we can add that.
yes. So, I guess we should wait for like 30 seconds or a minute for all the questions to come. Then we can start answering one by one. Is it fine, Arnav?
Yeah, sure, it's fine. People have already started writing questions. We'll wait for about one minute or so. Then you
Yeah,
all three can start answering them.
yes. Okay, so I'll start now. So first for my whole interview experience. Okay, so some of you might know that Amazon comes to our college as a part of pool placement for intern hiring for 6 months. But I was in some other off-campus drive, which is called Amaze Wow, which is held by Amazon only for girls. So that was held in May, I guess. It started in May end, so I gave my first assessment test in last week of May, as much as I can recall. So that was how. So that was the first test. After the test, I had four interview rounds with Amazon, and then I got my results in first week of August. And the other guys, Rohit and Dipanshu, so they were hired through on campus. So I'll let them to share their interview experience.
So yes, we were hired through the pool drive that we have for interns. So we were also given like there was a written test like the aptitude and the coding questions like other companies also have that. So about the aptitude and coding, that was not that much difficult, I guess, uh, as far as the written is concerned. After that, we had two interview rounds, and that were like the difficult part was that were on the same day, at least for me. Like I was having first round from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. and then second round again from 5 p.m. So they were 1 hour DS rounds. So that was the difficult part because after first round immediately, like from 1 to 2 p.m. and then at 3 p.m. I had a call that at 5 p.m. I am going to have another round. So that is a difficult thing because you need to have that mindset that you have to give another round after 2 hours and that also two of Amazon. So this was my experience, but the questions were I was able to solve them. I was and able to grab that opportunity. So yes, that worked for me.
Dipanshu, how was
Yeah,
your experience?
sure, sure. So I wasn't placed in the conventional SD form, as like the role that other guys have been placed here. So I was placed in cloud support associate. So Amazon came to our college as uh, due to a pool campus drive. So there were two drives there. One was for cloud support associate, other was for SG intern. So I just filled up both the forms for a cloud support associate as well as the SG internal, and then both had their coding examination and online coding. There was an online coding round, and you have to like in the SG intern one you have to code. I guess there were two questions. You have to code them, and both the questions were of easy level, no, not that difficult. And for the cloud support associate, uh, there were like multiple questions based on your network, computer networks operating system, and there was some other round from Amazon that required critical thinking. So that wasn't also that much hard, but yeah, so those were two online exams that I had to give. Then I got selected for the Cloud Support Associate program as well as the SG intern. I was accept. I was like I got the dates for interview for SG intern as well as the Cloud Support Associate, but uh, since the cloud support associate interview was first, I had to give that first, and so I gave that interview, and I was able to like get players in that interview. So due to that, I wasn't able to give the SG intern interview. So if any of you guys want to go into the SG intern or the SG role that Amazon has, do not give the cloud support associate interview, or do not sit in that placement if you want to go, or if you think if you get placed in that cloud support associate, you won't be able to give the SG intern one. But if you think that you want to give in both of them, then and that makes sense, and you can give in both of them. So I'll go with my interview experience, where what I had to face in the interview round. So there were three rounds. First round was completely based on operating system. I had to give. I was given questions on operating system, and I have to like they were like general Viva questions that you can answer in 5 minutes. I guess all of you are from third year. If and then you must be in 6th semester and you must be having this computer networks and operating system. So do they might ask like uh, the operating system and computer networks questions. So do study them sincerely. I would say that the last round was the easiest one. That was behavioral questions like what are OSI layers, what each layer do, what the function of each layer, that sort of questions. And apart from that, the last round was the easiest one. That was behavioral and yep, yeah, that's all the rounds that I
Okay, so that's great, Dipanshu. Now we have one question from Anurag Tyagi. How to start coding and what's the proper approach for getting off-campus high-pay scale placement?
sure.
Okay, so I'll take this
Yeah,
one.
sure.
Yeah, so how to start coding? I don't think it's the correct question, but so firstly, it's never too late to start. I think you still have time, even if you like give interview from, even if you take like 3 4 months from today to prepare. I think that's plenty of time for you. You can start today, and so for starting, firstly, I like to share that firstly you should look for all the resources available on the internet, because I think in past 1 year most of the people have tried to put the resources online because everybody is like accessing is searching online only. So look for YouTube channels, look for, like, I think there are thousands and thousands of videos regarding how to get plays at here, plays here, etc, etc. So if you will look through like maybe 4 5 videos, you will get the gist of them, that uh, like first you should do this data structure, then this, then this, and this. And what's the proper approach for getting off-campus high-pay skill placements? Okay, so see, it does not matter we are in MADE or we are in NITs or IITs. It's just that off-campus opportunities are something that we all can like apply for. So they firstly they like shortlist people based on their CGPAs, and then they have first assessment. So if you see the process of Rohit, like for SD intern, and my process, they are exactly same. It's just that I gave 4 interviews in some gaps, like 1 week or like 7 8 days something, and he gave interviews in 1 day only. So and also like so the in off campus you have a very high competition, you say, because it's generally like more than a lakh people applying for the same job. But if this company is coming to our college, it means we have a less competition. So so if the company is coming to our college, you should make sure to grab that opportunity, because I think it is easier to some extent to get selected in that. And so there's no as such approach to get placed into off-campus companies. It's just that you have to prepare yourself. You have to be confident that okay, I have these skills and I'm ready. And so it does not matter if that company is off campus or on campus. You're getting my point, right? And yeah, so yeah, I think that's all that I like to say for answer for that
Okay,
question.
okay, thanks, Parul. So we have another question from Aditi Kapoor. Does your extra and co-curricular matter in terms of placement? So if anyone can answer that one.
I don't think extracurriculars like participating in college fests or like organizing some things at college does matter in your interviews. So if you want to stay away from those things, you can, but it gives the experience of college, so you can also participate in those things. So it doesn't matter in interviews whether you have organized some fests in your college or organize some other kind of talks in your college. Doesn't matter. Yeah, internships do matter. Don't like try to skip them. Internships help you grab off-campus opportunities because you have to get your resume selected for off-campus opportunities, and for that you must have some kind of internships that you have done, and also yeah, yeah, that's internships matter in off-campus opportunities. Not doesn't matter so much in the on-campus one because
Yes.
internships like only help in getting a resume selected.
Yeah, internships in Amazon I remember because uh, the interview rounds in the Amazon are purely based on DSA only. So I was not having very much good internship, but I was able to crack the DSA question, so that is why. But for off campus, I agree with Dipanshu. Like internships do make sense for off campus because you need that your resume should be shortlisted for that. So in that case, the highlights in the in your resume like add points that your resume should be shortlisted for that or not. So for off campus, they do make sense.
Yeah, and I would
Regarding
like to
DSA,
just
we have one more
yeah.
question, which is at what point we can say that our DS algo is sufficient enough? This question is from Naman Aukam. If anyone can answer
I
this one.
think we cannot make that judgment that it is the time that we should stop doing that because it is, I think, a continuous process. We had to do it. Even I think even like we have joined Amazon, but still I think if we will be doing DSA, we will be in touch. If we will leave that for 4, 5, 6 months, we again have to do that part again. And Devanshu and Parul will be able to explain that better.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Okay, yeah, yeah,
one.
go on.
Yeah, sure. One thing to make sure is that in whole of your DSA preparation, you would never feel confident what you have learned and what you have like achieved in while learning DSA. So don't forget to like apply for jobs because you really
Yes.
shine when during the interviews. So you get like you think like I have not prepared enough and I don't know what to like apply for this job. But when you get to interview, your brain starts thinking like at a higher speed or clock speed, you can say, and you get the output that you have prepared over the years or over the months.
Yeah, basically you can analyze like the more interviews you give, you are more able to judge yourself that where you are going wrong and what you need to improve.
Okay, so Ayush Parikh has one question. Does Amazon prefers only CSIT students or the chances to be placed in Amazon is same for all branches?
For SD
As
intern, I think that was for CSIT only, but
yeah, but that is
uh,
only for on-campus thing. But if you
yes,
see for
yes,
off-campus drives,
yeah,
they
for
they
off
are
campus.
open to all branches.
Okay, that's great. We have one more question from Shivani. Can you please share questions which were asked to you or the topics? I guess topics can still be answered, but questions specifically, if you all guys remember. Just
Uh, yeah, so you see, Amazon generally targets questions from trees and graphs, and this is not something very confidential. This information is everywhere online internet. You can check it out. And for me, yeah, I was focusing very much on trees and graphs and DP also, but a little bit. And yeah, in my interviews, I face those questions, like questions from those data structures only.
Yeah, I for me, I faced for like recursion was
Yeah.
important in my interview, and like one more thing, priority queue was also asked. So I would say prepare for that also.
Yes, so
Some
it's
like
not like that only trees and graphs. It's just I am telling in my case, but these are like most frequently asked questions areas by Amazon. But obviously, it all depends on the
yeah.
interviewer at the end.
For that, I
that's
think
great.
we can recommend SG test series like that we have in GFG. That is, I think, really
Yeah.
good.
Yes. Yes.
So Aditi Kapoor has one question. What type of project should you mention to make your CV stand out?
Okay. So for this, I think you see from the person who is shortlisting from their perspective, they have seen thousands of CVs, and if you like try to do something fancy, try to add something fancy in your resume, they'll know straight away that you are trying. like something more than required. So that's not as much required. And for the projects, one thing I like to add about resume is that never lie on your resume, because it will come back at you during your interview. Like it may be that you might have passed first interview without the interviewer asking you about your resume, but if you, even in later interviews, or maybe that you might have lied and you are still not caught, but the thing is that that thing will remain in the back of your mind even during your interview. You might be like, okay, so बस वो पूछना ले मुझसे इस बारे में. So please don't lie in a resume. It will be, I think, more comfortable for you only. And as for the projects, I'd say that any, like, one project is sufficient, but if you want to go for two, it's also fine. More than two is also fine. Just don't feel like four or five, or just basic projects like you made some game and you added on the resume. It's just don't do those projects, or don't add those on resume. Your projects should be something like on which, if the interviewer asks the questions, you guys can have a discussion of about like 1 to 2 minutes if the interviewer wants to ask you. So it depends on the interviewer itself. If the interviewer is smart and he would like to know whether you are faking this project or not, he, how much you tell about that project will show the interviewer how much, like, is this done by you only or not. So and there is no as such quality of the projects. It's just that it can be anything, like it can be an internship project, or it can be anything, like, but just not the basic ones, okay. And the number of projects does not matter, the quality matters. That's my answer.
Okay, that's great. We have few questions regarding resources which you can try for OS and CN for the interviews. So if anyone can share their view on it.
Uh, for this, you can search the main topics of OS or computer networks on Google, and then try to find them on YouTube one by one, like topic wise. For example, like computer networks has topics like IP address networking and OSI layer. Just find those topics, whatever the main points, or you can even use your syllabus, IPU syllabus, that has all the main topics that the subject contains, and then just copy those topics based on YouTube, and you will most probably find a video explaining that topic. So just cover the college syllabus that we have, and you'll be fine.
Yeah, and also for the OS, you can go through that Knowledge Gate YouTube channel playlist. I think that was really good. So I followed that too. So you can look for that as well.
If possible, can you write the YouTube channel name on the
Yeah,
chat box if you remember it, so that they can see.
it's called Knowledge Gate. It's, I think, by Saurabh Jain. I don't know. So I think, and also all the articles on GFG are really great. So I think GFG is the only source which is very constant. You can always vouch for that. Yeah, Shivani, it's gate
That's great.
focus, but I think you will get questions, like you will get like, if somebody who's like, who does not have any idea about OS, like subject भी नहीं पढ़ा है, तो एक बार के लिए concepts क्या क्या है वो जानने के लिए, I think that series is fine.
You can skip the numericals.
Okay, so there's one more question by Pony Star. Does development help like Android and web development? I don't know what that means. So if anyone who can answer this one.
Yeah, they do help. Just don't go for machine learning, because that's not Android and web helps, not machine learning.
Yeah, it actually depends on where do you, like, which profile do you want to get placed for, right?
Yeah, experience like differ, but as far as my experience is concerned, and like the friends I have who were more inclined towards machine learning, they weren't able to like find good machine learning jobs,
Hmm.
entry level machine learning jobs, I would say.
No, for development, I think for web development also, for like if you want to have a job in web development, you really need to be very good in that,
Yeah,
because
that's all.
Yes.
so
You must be learning some framework, like either if you are going for front end, go for React JS, that's well good, and for back end you should go something like Python or some other framework.
like basically you need to choose, like you want to go for development or you want to go for DS, because if you want to have a job in DS, so you really need to spend time there, and for development, there also you have to spend a lot of time. So you need to make a
Yeah.
decision like if you want to secure a job in DS or you want to go for the development.
I mean, you don't have to like choose either of those.
Mhm.
DSA is the constant. You have to learn it.
Yes, I
Web,
think,
yeah.
yeah. So no matter what the like, if it is a good company, they will definitely want you to have some knowledge of DSA. And as for the development part, be it like web or the Android, it's just that it would be good if you have that, because otherwise, which projects would you mention? And also, just don't do it that if you are applying for an NSD job and your resume has projects based on ML, don't do that. I that's not
Yes, yes.
any problem, but the thing is that this your interview will drive in the direction of ML only. Then it won't like stay on the DSA
Yeah, yeah.
part. So yeah, that's my recommendation. Just don't do that. It will just backfire to you.
There's one more question regarding AmazeWow. Do you have any idea whether the Amazon would be hiring through AmazeWow this year as well?
Yeah, I think they have started hiring, like some of my like some juniors texted me around this. So I have not checked it personally, but I think yes, the drive keeps on going. So third year girls, I look forward to that drive. I think for me it's application, I guess. Like, so I came to know about that drive through our college mail only, that okay, Amazewow is hiring this. So I think it was in April, so in May starting, I guess, and my exam was in like 20 days after. And also, like, just to add, this process through Amazewow is nothing different than the other like normal SD hiring of Amazon. Everything is same, questions are same, interview process is same, nothing is different.
What is the timeline of this hiring? When does it start? Is it year round?
Yeah, so yeah, I was just telling that hiring. So these, so be active. I think the hiring can start in April or in May. Like you can like they might release information. So I think it is during this time only, like April, May. Yeah,
During the
that's,
summer.
yeah, yes.
Okay, okay, okay. Anmol Agarwal has this question. What do you think the interview score on lead code is sufficient?
I don't think it matters at all.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, but have opinion of Rohit and Dipanshu as well.
Yeah, I also think it doesn't matter.
Anurag Dawar has this question. What kind of internship roles are acceptable for the SDE role?
Normal
I
software
think
development.
nothing specific
Yeah.
like these kind of rules are acceptable. I think nothing is specific in terms of that. Like SD rules just need that you really have a good command on DSA.
Yes, and they just
You are really able to solve the questions.
they want projects only make sense that yes, this person has some knowledge on development, and because you have to ultimately work for development, right? So that's the idea behind that. Okay, this person should have projects in resume. So just as I said before, just don't add any like basic games project. Anything apart from that, I think would be fine.
Okay, that's great. Then Gaurav Wist has one question. What is the CGPA criteria for Amazon on campus? I saw a few of the question related to CGPA. Is there anything specific about CGPA?
I think for CGPA it was I think 7 and obviously no backlog. This was the criteria.
So seven and no backlog.
No
Yeah, and for
backlog is
off
for obvious.
campus, yeah, for off campus drive, I don't think they had mentioned it like as such specific that you should have CGPA 7 above. But I think it's a general like idea that they do shortlist firstly based on CGPA. But also like for Amazon, I've seen for Amazon they don't shortlist the resume as such. They just give chance to everybody who has applied for first assessment test. They give chance to everybody. First, which do shortlist your resume first.
Kapoor, can second year girls apply for Amazon Wow? Amaze Wow. Sorry.
Um, I don't think that it's for second year girls, but you can check it out. Maybe they might have changed the rules, you know. So you can check it out. I don't know about it.
Samir has this question: if someone has built up DS and has done some medium level competitive programming, what will be his next step?
I would say if you are eligible to apply, just start applying.
Yeah, be consistent. I would say like give
Yeah,
the code forces contest and everything. Just be consistent. Don't leave that.
yeah, and that and start applying in jobs if you are eligible.
Ayushi Mittal has this question: are behavioral question asked in the interview?
Yes, they are asked and they make very much sense in I remember I was giving TCS digital interview, so their behavior round was very much important because they were like I think the manager and behavior round was the deciding factor in that in the TCS digital interview. So they really try to shake you if you are on your points or not. If you are saying something, they will try questioning the same
And
thing
if
in
you
other
like,
ways. Change your answers again and again, so they will give the decision accordingly. So yes, do behavior
makes
makes
sense.
sense in some of the companies for sure.
Yeah, but to add to that, like for my SD interviews in Amazon, they had that bar raiser round, which is the fourth round, but it was supposed to be a behavioral round only. But my interviewer asked DSA questions, so you never know. So in Amazon, it does not for SD profile, it does not matter as such. But it would be good to have good communication skills and how to respond in when you are under stress during interviews. Like what would you do in this situation, etc., etc.
Okay, that's great. So Ankit Gupta has one question. This is an interesting one. Should we do OOPS in Java or C++ or Python? Is there an option for language in MCQ or is it common for all?
I think going with one language is good.
So you don't have any option during the interview process. You only have to do it in a single language or you have multiple options there.
You can do in any language, I guess. It's
Yes.
either
You can
C,
do
C++,
it in any
and
language,
Java.
but
Yeah, the
yes, you
MCQs are,
should be
I
good
think,
at it.
C++ based. MCQs as in online assessment, they are, I think, on C++ based, and the interviewers, they give you, like, they are
Awesome.
open,
Yes.
like, you can code in any language.
I would say just stick to either Java or C++.
Yes, yes. For
Don't go too
DSA,
far.
for DSA,
Yeah,
yes.
for this.
Anurag Dawan has this question. Can you please share your internship experience prior getting placed in the Amazon? I would like all three of you to answer this. What kind of internship experience did you had before you applied for the job on Amazon?
Parul, you want to go first?
या ओके सो यार देखो अमेज़न में ऐसा है कि उनको या किसी भी कंपनी में दे डोंट वांट कि तुमने भाई को बहुत ही तोप जगह से कर रखी हो इंटर्नशिप इट डज नॉट मैटर तो मैंने भी एक स्टार्टअप से ही की थी एंड आई डिड इट आफ्टर थर्ड ईयर सॉरी आफ्टर सेकेंड ईयर इन समर्स आई डिड इट ड्यूरिंग दैट टाइम and it was the company was not very good. I think it was by the company was by our seniors only, like they founded that company. So my case was not very good in internship.
Okay, and what about
Yes.
you, Dipanshu?
Me? Yeah. So I did an internship after the second year, in the summer holidays of second year. I joined a startup called Offshoot. So I worked there for 2 months, and then after that they asked me to continue work from home. So for like till the next year, uh, till the August of next year. I worked at Oxley. So all in all, I worked around 1 year and 2 months at Oxley. After that, I got internship at Postman, and I have been working as an intern there since the past 6 7 months, 8 months.
What about you, Rohit?
Yeah, for me also like Parul only, I'm not having any very much good internship experience because I started DSA really late, so I was majorly focusing on that only. I started it in third year, and seriously like solving questions and like wanted to do like something very good in that. So I started that very late. I think in third year that is late. So I was majorly focusing on that only. And apart from that, for internship, like I also started and I started doing internship in a startup only. That was not very fruitful. Also, like the company was also not very good. The same way, like the seniors of other college, they had started some startup. So there only I was working. So that was just to like have it in resume, but that did not add any value because like, and hopefully like it was good that Amazon was not focusing on that and was just focusing on DSA only.
Yes,
So
I think
that's why that worked.
yeah, good companies don't like shortlisting based on the company where you interned before. And if any second year students are here, I'd like to tell you that you should try your best to get internships at good place companies because I think they have started hiring for summers like June, July internships. So it's a very good chance if you find any off
Yeah,
campus opportunity for interns. If you like, yeah, and just don't assume that this webinar is this for third year only. Like all the DSA, everything information applies to you as well. It would be better if you start early. Like there's no harm in that, right?
yeah. As soon as you start, that is really good because we were really late,
Yes,
but
because
we
nobody
also
told us
missed it.
that, yeah, you can grab a good internship after your third year. Nobody
Yes.
told us that. So I think it would be good for you guys.
That's great. So Krishna Kant Upadhyay has another question: how to differentiate between a good project and bad project when it comes to resume?
So in this respect, I would say like good project. Obviously, that there is a good project and a bad project, but like for me, like it makes more sense. How do you present it in your interview? Like if you are able to present a good project in the way that like it should look like the project is worth. That basically depends on how you present it or how you speak about the project. So I think that also matters in that case. But obviously, like Parol added, like don't add that Java games and everything. That is obviously a bad project to add in a resume. But in good project also, like you need to be prepared really well, and you should be able to present it like if the project is really good, the interviewer also should know that it is a really good project, and that you have to prove him.
For choice projects, I would say you guys can pick up the latest system design questions that people ask in interview and can create any project on that. So that would be obviously be a good project, I would say, and that would also like cover a major part of your interview, and you will be like uh, comfortable if you have created that project on your own. So that would also help you. Will like eat up time of your interview as well, because you know something very well. So that would be beneficial.
Yeah,
Okay,
and
that's great.
just to add to this, yeah,
Yeah,
let me
sure,
add one
Prawn.
thing. It's not necessary कि बहुत ही अच्छा project होना चाहिए तभी तुम shortlist हो पाओगे ऐसा कुछ नहीं होता. If you have a project which is of like it's of medium level, it's fine. They don't judge you like, okay, it's obviously an advantage you have a good project because you can have a very good discussion as Dipanshu said during your interview. But if you have a like, what I want to say is don't spend too much time, like it's for third years. Don't spend too much time on your projects because right now your main priority should be DSA.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay, so the main priority should be DSA. That's great. Kunal Singhal has this question: how did you work on your aptitude?
For aptitude, I think there are many online platforms that offer you test, like the timing one. You have test online that they will have timings and you can solve them, and you can know that what are your weak topics. Like there are few topics that are there in the aptitude of every company, like work and time and everything, and like uh, other questions also. Like you can find that famous topics that you will see in the test of every companies, so you can practice that. And majorly I will suggest that you should practice tests that has timers on that. You can find it on online platforms.
Yes, I think that's the question. It's just that you don't need to focus too much on an aptitude because it's the first basic step, and I think everybody would clear that round. It's not something cool, something new.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. Then we have another question from Harsh Jain. Can you tell us platforms where we can apply for internships off campus?
You can start with LinkedIn first of all.
Yeah, just be active on LinkedIn and look for opportunities. And yeah, I think everybody goes to LinkedIn only.
Yeah, LinkedIn
So
is there.
LinkedIn should be the
Hacker Earth is also there. Hacker Earth do
hacker.
have contest for hiring.
Yes, 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 they do.
Okay, that's great. We have another one from Harsh Verma. How much system design does Amazon expect for the role of SDE1?
Like for SD intern, there was no round for system design, so I think we don't
Yeah,
have much knowledge about that.
it's not like a very like a precise round on a system design. It's just I think it's up to the interviewer. So the thing is that if you don't even know system design and the interviewer asks you about it, you can say that I have not like prepared that as such, but I would try to answer it as much as I know. So for this for system design, I think I was asked one question in my first interview, first round. I did not knew at that time that this question is from the system design. I just tried to answer it. So I think that could be your approach. But if you want to go for system design, you want to learn that just like OS and OOPS. Yeah, you should go ahead because like I think Microsoft and some other companies they focus on system design also.
Okay, so Rishabh Jain has another question. In which platform can we practice giving DSA tests?
LeetCode and Codeforces.
Also interview with
Yep.
you can have like interview with some other random person. They will select that person for you, and just like how a normal DS interview is of like 45 minutes to 60 minutes, you guys like it's just a copy of an actual interview, so you have to solve proper questions. So interview bit is something you can go for as well.
So Mohammed Salik has one question. How much time is left till companies like Amazon visit our campus?
Like for SD intern, like they visited in September. We were having our online test in September, and then interviews were first. They were to be held in October, but they shifted in November first week. First week they started like taking interviews. So you can take it September, September mid, I would say.
We have another question from Gautam Sahu. What should one do if he or she wants to go in core mechanical or electrical? And I want to ask that there is a need to learn coding if I'm in mechanical. I guess I'm pretty much sure many of the mechanical students will face this problem.
Well, I have no idea about how to get into core mechanical electrical companies. I can tell you about the SD companies, and if you're somebody from other branches and you are looking for SD jobs, it does not matter whatever your background, your like branch is. Just all those things which we just shared with you about for CSE and ID, these are all applicable for you guys as well. It's just that you will have to prepare the subjects, some theory subjects like OS, OOPS, and system design if you are willing to. So you have to prepare them on your own separately. Otherwise, it's everything is same.
Okay. Shivam Singh has one question. On which year should we be eligible for internship in Amazon?
Like for 6 months, we are in fourth year, so we have given interviews in fourth year only. I don't know if they
Yeah, but
visit in third year as well.
yes, I
This
was in. I think my sixth semester just ended when I was giving that off campus. I was a part of that
Right
off
after
campus
third
drive.
year, right? No,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
right after third
that's
year.
the exact time. And I think they also have for 2 months. And
after the
Yeah,
third.
yeah, for 2 months that happens after your second year, and
Yes,
for
yes.
6 months it happens after your third year.
Rishabh Jain has this question. Is it mandatory to do internships after third year?
No, it's not
no, it is
in my
not mandatory.
experience. Yeah, it's not because
You,
as I said, rather than focusing on like spending your time, do an internship, just do your like focus on your DSA skills. That would like help you very much in your companies now.
Yep. Wouldn't recommend like going for an
Yeah,
internship after third year.
same.
Dipanshu Agarwal has this question. How many companies are we allowed to sit for if we already have an offer?
None.
Like it
If
depends on the CTC
yep,
you
yeah,
offer.
on the city.
You can ask the TNP cell, you can mail them regarding this question if
I,
you
I
have a
guess the
doubt.
threshold was twice the CTC that you had.
Yeah, twice and after I think it was 2.5 times. Like if you are in a mass scooter, you can obviously sit, but if you are having a good package, so obviously others need chance, so they will not allow it.
Okay, that's great. Kapil Sharma has the question, what was your branch? I don't know who is he specifying, but if anyone can answer.
I'm in CSE.
I'm also
I'm on
from city.
CSC.
All three of you are from CSE.
Yes.
Okay, that's great. Naman Madan has this question, when does Amazon Web Services visit our campus? Are all branches allowed?
Yeah, so AWS doesn't visit our campus. It was a home campus placement. So it comes around the same time of the SG intern placement. So do watch out for that.
And
Yeah, and the branches I don't have idea, but CSC and IT were allowed. Don't have the idea for other branches.
are all the branches allowed in those interviews?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like CSC and IT were allowed. Don't have the idea for other branches.
Okay. So we have one more question from Gaurav, which do CP give you a upper hand or lead code practice is fine?
I think lead code practice is sufficient.
Yeah, I think it also depends on the time. Also, like CP always will always give you upper hand, obviously. But like if you are in third year, it is not the time to practice now. Like start CP now, because you have placements very near. So I think if you are very good in lead code, so
Yes.
be consistent with that. Means it is not a time to start something new and take forward.
Yeah, definitely. And just like companies like Amazon or like, similar companies, for them, they ask like medium hard questions. So, and like there are some companies like these, or they want like proper competitive coding guys. So I think also depends on the company.
Okay, that's great. Mohammed
Adding to
Sanjay
like
has this.
Rohit,
Yeah, go on, Dipanshu.
yeah, adding to Rohit and Parul's points, CP like is not necessary. DSA would do fine. Lead code practice would do fine. It's just that CP builds your temperament and would help definitely help you in interview. It
Okay.
like builds a temperament of like solving unseen questions. So
Okay, that's great. We have another question from Mohammed Salik. My resume has more of a development profile and it doesn't showcase any DSA skill. I'm working on DSA, but should I take part in competitions to get ranks or it doesn't make much difference?
Yeah, I'd say it does not make that much difference if you do not like take parts in competitions. It's fine because it does not matter if you want to show your DSA skills or not in your resume. Because the profile is of SG, the interviewer would eventually ask you DSA questions to assess you. So, development profile is fine. You just need to build your DSA skills, and the interviewer will know himself or herself. You know. So it does not matter whether you take part in coding competitions, etc.
Dipesh Mehta has this question. Can you give some interview tips at premium companies?
Like for premium companies, I would say like you should have a good temperament, because obviously when you are sitting in the companies like Amazon, Microsoft, so you have that in your mind like I'm okay, I'm going to sit for Amazon. So you need to have that temperament that you should able to control your emotions, and like you should not be nervous, because you have to think there like you have to think on approaches and different, because in Amazon when they ask questions they want you to showcase different approaches for that question. like the from the basic level to the most optimized one. So you should be able to think that. So for that, I think you should have a good temperament, and you should like it should not go on your head that you're sitting for an Amazon interview.
Yes, yes. And to add more to that, have good communication skills. So obviously they don't judge you on your accent or your like dialect. It's just have good communication skills. It won't like it's not something which is very much necessary for companies like Amazon, but for companies like Goldman Sachs, it is very much crucial as crucial as your DSA skills. And some other trips would be like just I said, like don't lie on your resume because because a good interview would try to have like discussion on other things on your on your resume as well. Like, and this I think this generally happens in like HR rounds and like final rounds, so don't do that. And obviously, just like Rohit said, that it will always be in back of your mind that I'm sitting for Amazon, oh my god, what would happen. So yeah, it will be there, but be confident. Being nervous is, I think, it's something which is very obvious, like you can't hide it. But be confident, and confidence is something which you will gain yourself once you have those, like once you think that you are ready for this interview, and you have all the skills, you have prepared enough. Confidence will come itself.
We have another
Yeah,
question from Harsh Jain. Does Code Chef rating matters or code forces?
I think this does not matters as much, but like they will give you confidence for sure. Like if you are having a good rating at Coach Chef, like it will give you that confidence also. Like you will be confident, like okay, I'm going for an interview, I will be able to solve that because you have done much practice on Code Forces, Coach Chef, and Lead. So for your confidence also, I think it is necessary that you should do that. And obviously you come to know about new questions and different varieties of question. So you start thinking in that way, and you are able to crack like what is going to do approach in interviews as well.
Okay, we have another one from Rishabh Jain. Do interviewers help you out, like providing hints or something?
Yeah,
Yes, they
for
do.
Amazon I can say that
Yeah,
they do provide.
definitely.
We have another question from Rhythm J. How one should do revision?
For revision, I think you should, like if you are doing things on like you are studying on your own, or whether you are like enrolled in some coaching, you must have some notes, or like how do you solve this question with like through how many approaches. So if you so if I have my interview tomorrow, so I would like go firstly I would go look for the topics which are most frequently asked by the company, and I'll try to see all the notes, like all the questions which I done during like of that topic, as in like trees or graphs. And my next approach would be to work if I have like an interview 1 week from now. So I'd first go for the week topics. So I think that's how your approach should be. But I think that for revision, I think it matters from person to person what works from them. But this is what I did.
So I tried a more company-specific approach. So uh, suppose you have some interview uh, in a week. So just find out the company versions on LinkedIn or either on Geeks for Geeks (GFG), and you can just start like doing the questions for that company specific questions. So that would surely help. And if you have a book or notes that you have created along with like your preparation, that would surely help.
Yeah, GFG interview experiences are really good. You can go for that.
Arun Sharma has this question. Is there any harm in choosing Python over C++ as far as interview part is concerned?
No harm, but they sometimes deny you, or like you can't use it, or it might go against you. So just
Yes, go
don't
for
take,
C++ or
yeah,
Java.
don't take that chance.
Okay, so we are close to 6 p.m. now, and this session was 5 to 6 p.m. only. So we will wrap this up. And if any of you have any other question, we will be conducting another webinar in coming weeks. And I hope you all had a great discussion. All your doubts were cleared. Thank you all to all three of you, Parul Gaur, Dipanshu Rana, and Rohit Ratnakar for attending this session. And okay, then
Arnav,
you all can go now. Yes, yes,
Arnav,
sir.
this is Dr. Amit Gautam. So I'm thankful to all the seniors, those who have volunteered to come here for the meet. This is a good initiative where seniors are encouraging the juniors to boost their skills. This is a platform where we are trying our best, so that juniors and seniors can interact. And in future, we are going to have few more session. Uh, I hope this session would have helped everyone. And thank you so much for your participation. Uh, and thank you, seniors, for coming here. Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you,
Thank you,
Parul.
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Dipanshu.
sir.
Thank you, Rohit. So
Thank you,
thank you
sir.
so much.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Arnav,
everyone.
have
Yes,
I
sir.
thanked everyone, or am I skipping any senior?
No, sir. You have thanked everyone.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye.
Yeah. Good luck, everyone.
Bye,
And
everyone. Best of luck.
yeah, best of luck. And you can reach out to me on LinkedIn if you have any questions.
Yeah, yeah,
All right.
same here.
Bye.
Yep.
Bye.
You can search my name on LinkedIn, and if you can find, then yeah, good to connect with you. Bye bye.